So, as we've been talking, I have noticed that emotions are something difficult to discuss or to access.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I kind of brought up earlier, like I feel like a computer, like I just kind of input and output data.
Right.
Um, I just don't think I'm capable of expressing feelings. Like you ask me all the time about how I feel about this or how I feel about that, and um, I don't think in those sort of terms.
Right. And do these kind of similar conversations happen, at home with your wife?
Um, yeah, I mean, she's constantly asking me how was work today, or or how do I feel about this, or she talks about being hurt by something that I said, and I don't understand. It's hard for me to understand that, like, feeling hurt. Like I don't, I don't. I guess I just don't feel hurt,
Right.
and I don't understand how she could feel hurt by something that I said, because I don't feel that at all. I'm just trying to help her, and it doesn't. She constantly talks about being hurt by something that I've said when I'm just being brutally honest, which is just me. You know,
Just you.
right. I mean, if she said, she'll say, this sounds stupid, but she'll say something like, "Oh well, does this pair of jeans make me look fat?" And I'll say, "Yeah, it does." But I mean, that's just me being honest and giving her honest feedback.
Computer in, computer out.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I mean, if she put on a little extra weight, she needs to know that.
So, and not being able to comprehend that on an emotional level, it seems like there's some kind of void or just lack of access.
Right.
What is that?
Well, I mean, I don't think this happened all of a sudden. I mean, it kind of happened over a period of time. You know, I, I just, I guess when I was younger, I just kind of shut off that side of me.
So you kind of became detached
Right.
from emotion at a young age, like on a certain day, or like over time, or
I mean, I can remember a couple of incidences or stories or scenes in my head where, you know, it just was better for me not to express emotion. I don't. Does that?
right. Okay. So as a child, you had these experiences. It was better not to express emotion, and you felt like, but you had emotion at that time. You're saying
Yeah.
you remember feeling.
Oh yeah. I mean, at one point, like I broke my arm, and I was in a lot of pain, and of course I was crying, and they were having this sort of, um, this celebration of my baptism at 5 years old, and this big kind of party, elaborate party, that my parents are having, and a couple of real affluent members of the community were there, and so I was playing Zorro with my friends in the backyard, and I was like swinging or something, and I fell down and I broke my arm, and it was a pretty bad
Wow.
break.
Yeah.
And I was in pain, and I'd never had anything like this happen before, and there was blood, and so I was going to my parents to, like, you know, what the hell do I do? Um, are you going to take me to the hospital or whatever? And they called the babysitter in, and it was almost like, don't interrupt me. They couldn't leave to take me to the hospital because the preacher was coming, as kind of you know to celebrate this event. So
Right. Like an
the
honorary guest or
yeah,
something.
exactly, the babysitter ended up taking me to the hospital. Right. So
Wow. And you said there was feeling. What was the feeling?
I mean, there was a lot of feelings. I was scared. I was in pain. I was hurt. Um, then you know, uh, just like just this sense of, like, that they didn't want me. They didn't want me there. They didn't. I was a nuisance to them, and that it was hard for them to understand my pain. And all I wanted to feel was loved, and, like, just give me a hug or tell me that it's going to be okay, because I didn't even know at the time that it was going to be okay.
Right.
And I didn't get that from them, and instead it was the babysitter you know, who I had even not even known for 6 months. Yeah, took me to the hospital.
So you're a 5-year-old and you've broken your arm and you're crying and you're scared. You said you're scared.
Yeah.
And so you're feeling all these feelings, and you approach your parents and you get shut down.
Right.
And then you begin to feel unloved. And
Right. I mean, it was almost like that whatever I was experiencing emotionally at the time didn't fit into what they were doing. It wasn't acceptable to them. So it was just easier for me from that point on to not have emotions. So I didn't have to feel that pain ever again.
right, wow, yeah.
So
What was your feeling towards your parents? I mean, you said unloved, but what else did you feel towards them at that time?
well, I just didn't understand. I mean, I didn't understand how they could do that to me. Like I don't understand how they could reject me like that um, and send me off, pawn me off on somebody else.
Well,
Yeah,
just put yourself in that memory, as that kid,
right.
5-year-old, broken arm in pain. And why don't you just try and picture yourself telling? Is there any specific parent, mother, father, that you're
My
approaching?
mother.
Right. Why don't you try and tell your mother what you just said, like what you're feeling towards them when they rejected you.
Um, you know, I would tell her that I just want to be hugged. I just want to hug. And you feel like just a statue, and I don't. I just want to. I want you to be with me in my pain, and you're not doing that. Um, so all I want you to do is love me, and I want you to help take away this pain, and um, it's, you're not, you're not doing that.
How did she respond to that?
In my memory, it just feels like a statue.
Yeah, I mean, if you had saying that to her in that memory now, can you see how she would react to that in this memory? I mean, putting yourself there and doing that.
Yeah, she just feels cold. She doesn't. It's almost like she's turned her nose up at me and is more involved in the conversation that she's having with these other sort of statues in the room, um, than to, um, wanting to take away my pain or wanting to help me at all.
Some cold statue, not wanting to take away your pain. All right.
Right.
And so you went to the hospital, and what happened with those emotions? How did you feel about your parents?
I hated them. I mean, from that moment on, it was like, um, I didn't feel that they were capable of helping me. You know, so it was just instead of having to feel that over and over again, I just didn't talk about my feelings anymore because they couldn't do anything anyways. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they were like statues and cold, and they remain that way. You're
Right.
saying it wasn't just one event.
Right.
Right.
I mean, this was a horrible experience for me, and when that happened, it was just
Yeah. I mean, here they are celebrating something for you.
right.
Some kind of conditional acceptance, it seems.
Right.
And then turning the other way when you need something for yourself, one thing for them in the community and one thing for yourself.
Right. It seemed like they were more interested in the way that they looked than what was going on with me specifically. When this whole thing was supposed to be about me to begin with, but it was really turned out to be more about them.
So I can see, I'm picturing this 5-year-old boy, broken arm and sore, and then I'm picturing him a week later with a cast on, and then a year later when he's 6 and he's doing things, and what that must be like to live, with statues, like you said, cold and detached people. Right. And I'm wondering if you see this 6-year-old, the 6-year-old, this 5-year-old that who I feel for, I feel for, and I want to comfort. Do you see that boy in you today?
Oh yes, yeah. But again, I see statues all around me, so it's not. I still see them. I don't. I don't see I don't see you. I see you as a sort of as a statue. I don't see. Um, I don't feel comforted anymore. I've just kind of cut that part of me off
Right. So the boy remains, but the statues remain,
as
and
well.
therefore you're coping by, not allowing yourself to feel, to allow people to have power over your feelings.
Exactly. I I it's it. I just don't feel emotions anymore. And that keeps me from feeling rejected, like my parents did. You know. So I don't see things in terms of hurt and pain. I see things in terms of, um, you know, I am trying to help my wife. I'm giving her this feedback, this honest feedback, and um, I'm, I don't feel that sort of how that could be hurtful or painful.
Right, right. What would the 5-year-old boy say before that experience with your parents? Say to your wife, I mean, um, um, imagine she's a 5-year-old and she's asking if these parents look fat. You're the parent, the parent that you'd hope.
Yeah. I would just say, I think you look great no matter what. I mean, I think, you know, uh, you're my child. I think you look wonderful.
But why would you say that? What would that do for that child? I mean, why would those words, what would that satisfy in that 5-year-old girl?
Well, that sense of not feeling rejected, like not feeling of being loved. That and that, yeah,
I think, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And I know it's hard to see, like you said, you see statues around you, but yet, and even with yourself as a grown man, you say that you can still see that 5-year-old boy in you.
right.
Now, I'm wondering, do you think that these statues, these people around you, have those kids within them as well that need something?
I mean, yeah, I can kind of see that.